Hey guys, welcome to the magic of real estate. This is amazing Toyin. We're going to get started in a few minutes, or should I say seconds? So I'm going to count down. I know people are still joining in, so I want to welcome everybody aboard. Welcome. You are at the amazing Toyin Pick My Brain webinar. This is amazing Toyin. I am the founder of the magic of real estate. So I want to welcome everybody. Welcome. We're going to get started in a few seconds. Just going to wait for the rest of the people to join us. I see people are piling in. So welcome. This is amazing Toyin, and the presentation is going to begin in a minute. All right. So if you are in here and you're joining us, let me hear you say hi or yes on the sidebar. I'm glad you're here. This is amazing Toyin, and if you don't know where you are at the Pick My Brain webinar. I am the founder of the magic of real estate, and if you've never been in real estate, get ready for some magic, because real estate is magic. And the reason I call it magic is obvious. A lot of people made money in real estate, but real estate is the only business where you could create money starting with zero. And I've done it so many times. I've done it 450 times. And I'm going to show you in some of the demonstration that we're going to go through in this webinar. So I want to welcome you guys again. My promise to you is that if you sit through this webinar, over the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you how you could buy and flip your first house in the next 90 days. Okay, in the next 90 days you should be able to buy and flip your first house, regardless of what webinar you've been to or what seminar you've been to. If you haven't done anything, and there's a reason why 95% of the people fail in this business, if you stick with me, I'll show you how you can do that over the next 90 days. Okay? And if you stay till the end of the webinar, I have a special surprise for you. So, it's a special surprise. If you stay till the end, based on all the things that I'm going to show you over the next 45 minutes, you'll be glad that you stayed at to the end of the seminar, or the webinar, I should call it. So this webinar, it's about the inside secrets of a top real estate investor, right? And so who is a top real estate investor? Well, if somebody who is doing it on a regular basis. I've been doing this for close to 15 years, and I've bought over 450 properties. And so I will consider myself one of the top real estate investors out there, but you probably never heard of me because I'm not a guru. I don't sell information. I don't really coach people. I'll tell you as we go into this webinar why I put this together for people that want to learn. But you might be aware of this. 95% of the people that get into this business never buy a single property. So if they never buy a single property, that means they failed. Now you imagine if we send 95% of our people to school and they never graduate, or they all fail, right? How will we feel as parents, as a society? And that's what's going on. 95% of the people that go through the process of training, coaching, buy seminars, buying information over the internet, they all fail. And there's a lot of information on how to buy and sell properties, how to make money with no money down. Tons of information. Why do 95% of the people fail? So you get that information, the reasons, over the next 45 minutes as I explain to you why. First of all, let me show you a real insight of a real estate investor, okay? What I did last Sunday, okay? And what I do most of Saturday mornings, right? Because most Saturday mornings I go out of my house, work for about 4 hours. I come back, sometimes I come back with $50,000 equity because I just bought another property. I do it on Saturday, I do it on Sunday, and sometimes I do it throughout the week too. But I get to pick my own time. I do it when I want, how I want. I don't have to rush to go to any job. I don't have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning so I can get to the office at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock when the boss wants. I have complete control over my time. That's part of the inside secrets you're going to learn over the next 45 minutes. Okay, first of all, let me show you this. This is my yellow part. Okay, yellow part means that when I'm in my car looking for deals, I always carry a yellow part. So obviously you're not going to be able to understand. You can see my cursor moving around. You probably won't understand all these names and stuff like that. Okay, but what this is this is a property. While I was driving, I noticed these two properties. I got this app that tells me wherever I am in the continent, on the continental US, and I'm standing in front of the house. It tells me who owns that house, who's the owner, and stuff like that. Well, this particular property, I couldn't find the owner because it was on a street that has not been mapped, right? This is a little strip of streets on a major road that has not been mapped. Okay, one of the things you're going to learn in my system is that making a deal depends on finding a good deal. I mean, a good lead. Okay, a good lead that looks like, when coal miners or diamond miners go into the mines, right? They dig and dig and dig for miles until they find a rock, right? So diamond in the rough is what I call a good deal. Okay, and I'll show you how to uncover that to where you are making $40,000, $50,000 per deal. So what happens is that I found this property. I couldn't locate the owner right away using my app. Okay, but I created my own map, and I'll show you how to do this. So I created my own map, right? When I got back, okay, then I went into another program that now deciphers and shows me what's going on, who owns the property. And believe it or not, at the end of today is Tuesday now, I'm kind of recording this, it's been 3 days this I went to this place, right? So if you look at the date, you guys look at the date, this was 11/6, about 2 days before the election, 2008 election. 2016 election, excuse me. So what I did was this. I created all this map so I'll be able to locate it. And then let me show you guys what I did. Oh, so what I did next was I found I pulled a profile. A profile is like a credit report on the property. Okay. This profile now told me who is the owner of the property. So let me go, okay. So the profile told me who is the owner. This is the property right here. Okay. And by the end of today, okay, I had already chased down the owner. Okay, excuse me. I have spoken to them on the phone. I've decided whether I want to pursue the property further. Okay, they already told me they might be interested in selling. So if I can pick up this property, that's about $40,000, $50,000 profit, or maybe $100,000, because there are 2 houses on the lot. It's about 8 acres. Okay, so that tells me right there I can subdivide it. Okay, I mean, if I subdivide it into 2-acre parcel each, I can put a house here, a house here, a house here, a house here. I could end up making $500,000 on this deal. You understand? What if I can subdivide it into 8 parcels of 1 acre each? So this is what I did next. So in order to locate the owner, the property, I had to pull a parcel map. Okay, and this app that I have enables you to do all that. And if you get into my program, I'll be able to give you access to all this, and you'll be able to do it on your own or after you've gone through my training process. Okay, so I was able to pull the owner, find out that this street was not named. There was no sign on the street, but I was able to determine who the owner of the property is. This is the parcel right here with 2 houses on it. By pulling the map, looking at the APN number, which is the assessor's parcel number, and stuff like that. This kind of information is what you really need to make money. This kind of information is the confidence you need to make money in this business. That's why 95% of the people fail, because most of the people that are teaching, okay, 95% failure rate, Most of the people are teaching right there. They don't teach the intricacies, the code, the in-betweens and of how to get the good leads. If you can't get good leads and you can't make good money in this business, you're going to fall off. So that's what my process does. Okay, I just want to give you guys an example of how exciting this business is. It's like, you become a detective trying to find out which of these mines has the gem you're looking for. And each gem could be $50,000, $100,000. So now the question becomes, who am I? Who is amazing Toyin? Who is Toyin Dawodu? Well, as you can see, these are some of my pictures. Some of my students. I've been in this business for about 15, 20 years. Okay. Now, never minding the fact that I do have college degrees. I have a couple of them. But when I got my MBA, which is Master's in Business Administration, I couldn't get a job. I had to apply to a car dealership to sell used cars after getting my degree. Eventually, I graduated and learned the process of buying and selling houses, right? I got my real estate license, okay? But in between the time that I was in the car business, starting another business, okay, failing, getting up and failing, at some point, I fell on my face and I was kind of miserable for like 2 years. I had no money. For 2 years, I was miserable. So if you're watching this, don't think that, well, this guy, he's done 450 deals. Well, how did he get there? Maybe he got a silver spoon, or somebody gave him money. No, I was just like you. At some point in my life, I had no money. Zero money. After having built a huge business, I'm failing, filing bankruptcy twice. I filed bankruptcy twice. I mean, I'm no Donald Trump, but you got to do what you got to do. So eventually, when I finally got up and got on my feet, right? I started with only $295. $295 add credit, okay, is what got me back on my feet. Now, prior to that, I had run into a mentor that actually showed me how to buy and sell houses. After going almost 10 years of what I call false starts. Okay. And so eventually, after buying over 450 houses, I decided that, look, you know what? I need to leave a legacy for myself, for my son. I had a 20-year-old who, at that point, I wasn't sure if he was going to go to college. I was so scared. If he didn't go to college, in our society right now, if you don't have a college degree, it's very difficult for you to reach a certain level. It's as simple as that. Now, the only alternative is if you have a skill. So if you have a skill, you could create your own money. Okay? And so I say to people today, even if you have a college degree, you need a skill. Okay, for example, I was talking to some guy today who told me that he's about 36 years old, but he's been in the union electrical business for 20 years or something, but he makes only about $2,000 a month, and he wants out. So whether you have a college degree or you're a professional, okay, and I've spoken to lawyers that make only $30,000 a month. I mean, a year. For the whole year, they work for the whole year and they make $30,000. Real estate agents, the same thing. They work for the whole year and make $35,000. But when you have a skill to buy and sell real estate, okay, the sky is the limit. So at some point in my life, I was scared my son is not going to go to college because he's not really academically inclined. So it's now incumbent on me to say, look, what am I going to do? Because I was so scared. I mean, look at me. I got 2 college degrees. I have an MBA. So how am I going to raise a son that is not going to go to college when everybody I knew has a college degree? So I decided, well, I'm going to teach him what I do because that's the only legacy I can leave for him. If he doesn't go to college, if I teach him what I do, at least I will leave him with a skill so he can earn a living for himself. That's how my membership process started. Where I created members, and members submit deals to me. If I buy the deal, then I pay the members. The interest grew, and the platform became, GIC Deal Finders, right? So GICDealFinders.com right now has like 6,700 members, where they get free training, structured paid program, property locators, and stuff like that. So I got 6,700 members. These members are going, they submit leads. If I buy the lead, they get paid, right? So I call them, property locators. Okay, so this is like a beginning step, a stepping stone for anyone that wants to be in the business of buying and selling properties. What this stepping stone does is that it supplies me with abundance of leads. Okay, when I say abundance, I get to pick and choose which lead makes me the most money. That's what I chase. So if you happen to get into my one-on-one program, you could guarantee that you have an abundance of leads already made for you. So the question now is this: why an apprenticeship program? Okay, well, before I got into this business, I had a lot of false starts. I mean, I was so in the wilderness for almost 10 years. I was in the wilderness 10 years. I bought every program there is. One of my first programs was, Carlton Sheets. I don't know. If you're watching this, you probably heard of him. If you're as old as I am, you probably heard of him. If you're a baby boomer, you definitely heard of him. For a long time, he was on TV. I bought his program twice. But the problem is that every time I try to go make a deal, there's nobody there to answer my question. Until I finally found a mentor. The mentor now taught me, showed me how to find the deal, how to negotiate the deal, and how to exit the deal. That's the 3 things you need to know. How to find the deal, negotiate the deal, exit the deal. Now, there are a lot of things that go inside in between all those. All the things that go in between are the backbone or the confidence that a mentor gives you. The person holding your hand gives you the confidence to do all the things that are in between in order for you to succeed. And with between fear and lack of confidence, you are likely to fail, because 95% of the people fail in this business. So if you don't want to be part of the 95%, you would decide and find a mentor who is doing it, who could hold your hand until you do your first deal. Because there are a lot of mentors out there, a lot of information, a lot of webinars, a lot of seminars, a lot of education. But despite all that, 95% of the people fail. So until you find somebody that can actually hold your hand until you do your first deal, to where you begin to gain confidence, right? That's why I started this apprenticeship program. And if it resonates with you, you will understand why it makes a lot of sense. Okay, that's some of the reasons why the program is so different from the other programs. Every real estate program out there, they just take you give you information, and you're your own. You can't learn this business in a 2-day coaching program or 2-day seminar, 3-day seminar. No, this is a program where you have to really absorb yourself. You're gonna fall, and you need somebody to get you up and hold you so you don't fall again. And if you do fall, you need somebody to get you up and hold your hand. You're going to do that so many times. And even as good as I am right now, after 450 deals, I still sleep once in a while. And every once in a while, I still call some of my mentors. Okay, I have a guy that I call, on some deals, and if he says, don't do that deal, I don't do it. Because he has a lot of experience, more experience than I do. He's like one of my mentors, even though I've done 450 deals. Okay, but he looks at a lot of deals every day, and he knows what deals will pass. And once in a while, I call him and say, hey, look, this is what I got. And he will say to me, no, don't do that. That's what you need. You need somebody who will give you that kind of confidence and that kind of mentorship. Okay? Now, the other options you have is you could enroll in a $30,000 school, right? Because I was called to enroll in a real estate school. Then I asked them, when I'm done, what do I get? You get a certificate, and then after that, what happens? So you could get a job. I mean, if you're at a certain age, like the gentleman I spoke to earlier, is 36 years old. He doesn't want another job. He wants a skill, a lifetime skill that will allow him to make money anytime he wants. And the only business that I know that will do that for you is real estate. So I created this apprenticeship program. I don't want too many people in there, so I'm only going to take like 50 students, And so if you're part of the 50 students, fine. If you watch this webinar and you think, well, I don't want to be part of it, or I don't have time, or I don't have the money to be part of it, that's okay. But I'm only going to take 50 students because that gives me the opportunity to be able to communicate as best as I can. So this program now has 3 core offerings, right? You have a structured programming, training, you have a one-on-one mentorship, and you have guidance, as you make your first deal. Not only do you have guidance, I will buy the first deal from you. In other words, you bring a deal in your training, I will buy it. So which means you get a ready-made buyer for your deals. I'll show you how to find the deal. If the deal is good enough, I'll buy it from you. So what else can you ask for? You get my hand holding when you're structuring the deals. You have continuous mentorship, and you have a guidance. Now, so here are some other, skills you will learn as you go, into this process, okay? You learn how to find good deals, just like I showed you earlier in this webinar. How to decipher good deals, right? Because the money is made in researching the deal. The money is not made in, just finding a for sale by owner and calling them. It's finding, in researching and finding the deals that has a lot of money. Deals that you pay 100,000 for, you make 100,000 on top of it. I mean, you buy a property for 100 grand, you make another 100 grand. How else can I describe the fortune in that? So you will learn how to talk to sellers, how to market and generate a lot of leads. You will understand how the foreclosure process works and why, despite the fact that the market is already recovered, well, there might be another foreclosure recession coming soon, but in between, there are still 500,000 people in foreclosure as I speak right now. And it's been like that forever. Even when the market has recovered, people are always going into foreclosure anyway. So you learn how to generate, or negotiate a real estate deal with sellers, how to talk to lenders, title companies, how to analyze properties, to make sure that every deal you construct and make, even with zero down, you make at least $40,000. Now, when you first start, you might make 10, 20, 15, but eventually I will get you to where, you will consistently make about $40,000 on every deal. Now, I remember my first deal. I only made $10,000, which is fine. But guess what? I made $20,000 in the back end, right? The process of making money in the back end is very simple. Okay, you go into a deal with zero down, you find somebody else to bring you a little bit money down, and then you just accumulate your money in the back end. So back end means that you carry some of the paper. The details are really in the one-on-one program or the Pick My Brain program if you choose to get into it. Okay, but the simplicity is that you find a property, you take over payment, then you wrap it for somebody else coming behind you, and then you carry some of the paper and you add your profit to it. That's all it is, and it's all done with zero down. And I've done a lot of properties. I mean, as I speak right now, over 400 properties. So if I've done 400 properties, do you think I might have something that I could show you? Because sometimes people think that the best way for them to learn is to get a book, go on YouTube, try to get all this free information, which is fine. You will read a lot of information, but guess what? You never make a deal. Somebody who's made 400 properties, who's bought 400 properties, has made a lot of mistakes. So the objective is for me to teach you how not to make the same mistakes that I made. If you could avoid the mistakes that I made, you'd just be making money all day long. It's as simple as that. Now, so how do I prove to you that I've done over 400 properties? Well, if you look at this, and I'm going to point at it so you guys can see it, okay? So if you look here, this arrow, it says 422 deals, right? Listing. Since I'm a real estate broker or agent, I get to list my own properties. So when I buy properties, I fix it up and then I list it in multiple. Because listing in the multiple listing, MLS, gets me the most money. So I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to market. So I just put in multiple, the other agents sell it to me. I give them incentives. Sometimes I give them 4% because I control the property. I already made my money buying it. So I let people have a good commission. So if you look here, it says that my listing inventory is 422 deals, right? 422, which means that's 422 properties that I put in the MLS and sold. They are my properties. Every property that I put in the MLS are properties that I bought myself and then fix it up and sell it through the MLS. Okay, that's my proof right there. I can give you an address of every property I've ever bought. Very few people can guarantee this or say this in the industry. A lot of people can come here, I bought 1,000 properties, I bought 200 properties, but they can give you an address. Okay, this is my third-party verification. The MLS is a third party. You can have this information unless you are a member. And if you look here, it says my name right here. Hello, Toyin. That's my login. It says right here, Toyin Dawodu. And so you see right there, that's for the 122 listings that I've put in the MLS. I remember when I bought this house a couple of years ago, I paid $160,000 for the house. The history behind this house, or the story behind it, is sometimes what I like to tell my students. Because if I didn't have the knowledge, there's no way I could have bought this house. As you guys can see, this is my contract on the house. Okay? This is my real estate contract. That's it right there. I will teach you how to develop so much rapport with the owner to where you write a contract on your yellow part, okay? Because a contract is a meeting of the mind between two people based on a certain agreement that you agree to buy their property, you give them some consideration, you tell them how much you're going to pay, they agree with it, and you tell them how long it's going to take you to give them the money, and that's it. That's what a contract is. It doesn't matter what you write it on. You could write it on a napkin. But because the society or the agents want to make a lot of money, in the real estate industry, you have 10-page contract, 20-page contract, because the lawyers got involved. The moment the lawyers got involved, they complicate it. The law states that a contract is valid if it has four elements. In other words, the consideration, the price, time of performance, and the meeting of the mind of the three people, right? I think I've mentioned like about 4 of them. That's what a contract is. So if you look in here, I bought this property for $160,000. The day I went to buy this property, I made my offer right there. The reason I wrote the contract right there, when I got there, I got a call. I drove straight to the owner's house. And when I got there, after hearing a story, I wrote the contract right there and then because I want to lock out everybody else. Now, prior to me getting there, she had talked to about 4 or 5 people who passed on the deal. The reason they passed on the deal was because the property was locked up in a lawsuit. Now, if you're in my process or you're my student, I will show you how to unlock those kind of deals. Now, so I got the property, I wrote up the contract right there, okay? Because he was involved in a lawsuit and a lot of people passed on it, I knew how to untangle the lawsuit. It's as simple as that. Because I knew how to untangle the lawsuit, I made the money. I paid $160, sold it for $273. I made $113,000. As the agent, I made another $6,800 on the back as the commission. Now, how would you like to do this? How many of these do you need in a year? How many? Right? And as you guys can see, I'm taking a long time. I got only another maybe 40, 15, 20 minutes for this webinar. Okay? And so I hope you understand if I kind of go through the rest of the stuff, pretty quick, because I want you guys to see. This is another property that I bought. I bought this property sight unseen. Okay, the owner called me. The owner was like 400 miles away. I pulled it up. I looked at the profile. Okay, and I know that there's money in there to be made. It's as simple as that. I knew there's about $30,000-$40,000 to be made. Okay, most of the $30,000 to $40,000 I gave away to other people so I can make at least $15,000-$20,000. So if you look at it, I sent the contract to the owner. The moment I sent out the contract, I began making calls. And I made the calls. I sold the property through an agent. And within 28 days, I made $17,000 profit. I'll show you how to do all that. Here's another property. While I was driving around, I noticed the property was vacant. I sent a letter to the owner. It was a very simple letter. Made an offer to the owner for $7,500. That's my contractor right there. The property was boarded up. So I got the owner's permission to enter the property. I entered it. You can see all the trash that is in there. Okay. So these are my contracts with the owner to buy it. Okay. And my contract to sell it. Not only did I sell it within 28 days, okay, I made a profit of about $17,000 when I sold the property. The buyer didn't have all the money, so I carried the paper for him. Okay, so if you look at this in my yellow note right here, this is a simple note. I'll show you how to write a simple note. Real estate is not as complicated as most people think. If you notice right here, I wrote a lot of things by hand. Everything you write, whether in longhand or type it, is valid in the court of law as long as the judge can read it. If they can read it and it meets the terms of a contract, it's not illegal, right? It's just as good. This is my note to the person that bought the property because I carried some of the paper for him. I carried like what, $3,000 or something over a period of 6 months. So you might be wondering, how did I do 450 deals so far? I learned the business. It's a skill acquisition business. You got to acquire the skill, have somebody to hold your hand, have a mentor to guide you, put a team together, and then put a financial partners together. It's as simple as that. You might be saying, well, Toyin, it doesn't sound simple, but it's not that simple. The reason you're thinking that is because you don't have somebody holding your hand. Remember when you were a kid trying to learn how to ride a bike? Okay? Because I remember when I taught my daughter how to ride a bike. She was like, Dad, hold me, Daddy, Dad, hold me. And I said, no, you could ride. No, hold me, Daddy, I'm going to fall. That's the same thing as in real estate. The fear of falling, the fear of losing, right? The fear of being ashamed, the fear of being stupid is what keeps 95% of the people out of the business. Even though they went to training, they got mentors or, as long as they don't have somebody holding their hand to the end of the deal. Because if you just go to some training and they give you all the books and they say, okay, fine, you're on your own, you paid 5,000, you're now on your own, you're going to sleep. The moment you sleep and the fear sets in, even though you've paid a lot of money, then you just say, write it off and say, okay, whatever, I can't make it. I'm just going to go find somebody else. In my program, I don't want that to ever happen to you. I'm going to stick with you until you make your first deal. That's my guarantee to you. Because I don't want a student to come to my class, go through my apprenticeship program, and not be practicing what I teach them. You have to be a practicing real estate investor, right? Entrepreneur, just like me, when you exit my program. And you continually have the opportunity to engage with me, seek my guidance or my help as long as you want. Now, this is one of my mentors. You might not know this guy. His name is Bruce Norris. He's with the Norris Group. He's one of the biggest lenders in Southern California. And over the, last 10, 15 years, I borrowed close to $10 million from him. I've paid him over $1.4 million in interest. He has funded 62 deals for me. Okay. Now, when I said earlier that I have somebody that, if I ask him not to, should I do this deal? And he says no, I don't do the deal. Well, that person works for Bruce. His name is Craig. Craig does most of the lending with Bruce. And I get a lot of money from there. Okay. So I get you the process of how hard money works, how you could get money, and how you could do deals with no money down. So I started where you are. At some point, I was where you are, and I started the same way as you are right now. I got somebody who held my hand until I did my first deal, and then they continue to hold my hand until I've become confident. So if you're looking for a mentor, and you want somebody to teach you the skill, and you've been watching this webinar for a while, well, you got a few more minutes to decide whether you are now ready to take the plunge. Because if you've been chasing and looking and going all over the place and being in the wilderness like I was for 10 years before I got myself structured and find a mentor, now you finally found somebody who's making you the undertaking, the guarantee that, look, I will see you to where you make your first deal, and the next one, and the next one, okay, until you become a real estate investor like me, who has done 450 deals. Now, it's a lot easier to make better choices once you have a mentor, or you have a trainer, or somebody who's very successful and accessible. The reason most people don't do it, and as I stated earlier, 95% of people will never succeed in this business. I mean, imagine if 95% of our people that will attend to college, go to school, never graduate, will be all up in arms. But that happens every year. Millions go to webinars, but they never buy a single property. I mean, if you doubt me, just Google it. It would show you right there that 95% of the people never buy a single property. So, how did I do it? Well, not only did I get the knowledge, I got somebody that held my hand. Simple. I got a mentor. I got somebody that held my hand, showed me the ropes, the code, the whole system for me, to where I now know what fits into where. And then I started doing it. And so, this is my promise to you in my apprenticeship program. When you're done, or even talking to me for the first week, you have more knowledge than 90% of the people you ever meet. And as you go through the program, you'll be able to apply this knowledge to where you now begin to accumulate wealth. Because a lot of money is being made in real estate. Real estate is like a $27 trillion industry, in the US. And so if you want to be part of it, if you really want to be part of it, there's only one choice. You have to make the decision You got to get the person that will show you the step-by-step process and hold your hand until you do your first deal. This apprenticeship program is about you doing deals. It's not about you, just joining a program, becoming a real estate um, student. It's about doing deals. When you leave my program, you're going to do deals. We're going to be joined until you do deals. Simple. So you're not going to have all this fear, the uncertainty, you're not going to have worry whether I'm going to fall, right? You know exactly how to negotiate the sales price. I mean, I look owners in the eye and they tell me they want to sell their property for 200,000, and I ask them, can I buy it for 40,000? And they're looking at me like I'm nuts. And we're laughing about it. And so when the owner says no, to me, based on what my mentor taught me, a no means a maybe. And a maybe is a yes. That's the first thing my mentor taught me. Toyin, when somebody tells you no, they mean maybe. And when they say maybe, that's a yes. So don't give up. Some of the other things you will learn is, how to hire contractors, how to work with agents, create a team, negotiate with, creditors, especially, when you have a complicated property and you are able to remove the lien on the property, you make the most money. Most people, when they see the liens, they run away. But I teach you how to remove the lien on the property. That's how I was able to make $113,000 on the other property, because people saw that there was a lien on it, there's a lawsuit, and so because there's a lawsuit, it's complicated, they just, they bail out. And I got in there, I drove in, and I made $113,000. So over the next 90 days, you have, an intensive training, a scheduled group Q&A, full access to my GIC Deal Finders training platform. You have a full access to my GIC lead and deal tracking software. You have a full access to my GIC Deal Finders community and forum. You have a full access to my GIC Magic of Real Estate Mastermind group. You have my complete supervision, my guidance. You have my complete advice on in the field. You have access to my books, my guides, my multimedia training, free ticket to my upcoming live event, which is in itself is $5,000 value. Not only that, I will be your first customer. When you get a deal, I will buy from you. Not only are you in training, so even though you are going to invest to get into this training, before you exit or you're done with training, you might even get your money back. Because if you find a deal and I buy the deal from you, you get paid too. So what other school do you go to that they actually pay you to attend school besides my apprenticeship program? Here are some of my members that got a check while they were in training. Andre got a check. So far, Andre, this is Andre right here. So this is Andre. Andre was in training at some point, and during his training process, he made close to $30,000 in the 1 year that he was in training. This is Sean. Sean got a $5,000 check, on one of his first properties. So I'll be your first customers. I mean, you'll be hard pressed to find anyone else in this business who is willing to help you by being your first customer. I mean, that's one benefit that you can't even dispute. Where else do you get paid to go to school? I mean, think back to when you were in school. Do you get paid, or you have to pay the teacher? You have to pay the school and pay the teacher, pay the professor, right? But here's a training that will literally change your life. This is a skill you will acquire for the rest of your life. And once you acquire a skill, you never lose it. And not only that, when you help these sellers out, you buy their property, they're so happy. They're happy. I mean, people are happy that you gave them money to begin with. But they're also happy that you help them resolve their problem, because the property investment business It's about helping people solve their problems. As a student, an apprentice, you get direct access to me through phone call, emails, and one-on-one meeting, depending on where you are. You also get access to me through my Facebook Mastermind, my GIC forum, phone, text, and email, Skype, and voice over IP. And not only that, you have another 1 year of mentorship. Okay, if you so choose, one-on-one 1 year of mentorship once you are admitted into the program. And as a bonus, you could be part of my live audience for scheduled live recordings, podcasts, conference calls, and other pre-recorded resources. So having heard all of that, what is your next move? Do you want to apply? Should you apply? That's a question you have to answer. I can't answer that question for you. So you have to look at, where are you right now? Where are you? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? And if you already decided that over the next or the rest of your life, you want a skill that will continually pay you money just by turning it on and off when you want, which is what real estate is. When I want money, I just go buy a house. It's as simple as that. I mean, you don't make money by buying a car. You don't make money by buying any other material, furniture. But when you need money, I'll teach you how to go buy a house and just take money out and go buy a car. Simple. So if this resonates with you, why don't you click and register right now, okay? Or go to GIC Deal Finders /apply, okay? There's an open enrollment right now, okay, for the rest of the 2016. And when you get in there, you'll be able to schedule a one-on-one meeting with me. And during that meeting, I'll determine if you qualify to get into the program. Okay? And this meeting is going to be half an hour. It's about half an hour that, I talk to you. I decide based on your qualification to see if you are able to get into the program. If you're able to get into the program, you'll be admitted and you'll be on your way to the top. Okay, so I want you to click right now or go to GIC Deal Finders /apply. Okay, so now if you eventually get into the program, one of the things I'm going to give you is my guarantee that once you are in my program, you have 30 days to test drive it. So if after 30 days you're not satisfied, you don't want to continue, just send me an email and then just refund all your money. It's as simple as that. So, one of the things that made Germany successful is that they got this apprenticeship program. A lot of the young kids get out of high school, they go straight into apprenticeship program and they learn a trade. Real estate is a business, it's a skill, and you have to learn it. If you don't learn it, you're not going to make money at it. It's that simple. That's why 95% of the people fail. And so when you become an apprentice under a master, you're guaranteed to succeed. Simple. So head on to GIC Deal Finders right now, gicdealfinder.com /apply. If you qualify, I'll let you in. If you don't qualify, that's fine. You just have to go do your prerequisites, okay, and what you need to do to qualify. I mean, it's like when you go to college, not everybody goes into Harvard, right? So, if you qualify, I'll let you in. If you don't qualify, I'll show you what to do to get your prerequisites so you can qualify to get in. All right? So this amazing Toyin, I want to thank you for attending this webinar. Okay? And, like I promised, one of the surprises that I will give you is this, for attending and staying to the end. If you want the information to track down owners of properties, okay, just send me an email. So go to gicdealfinders.com right now, /apply. When you get there, you'll be able to schedule a meeting with me. I'll give you another half an hour of my time. And during this half an hour, we have a discussion as to whether you qualify, what your goals are, why you want to get into this business, those kind of stuff. That half an hour in itself is worth $1,000 because that's how much I charge, or that's how much my time is worth. When you make $1 million a year, if you divide it into 40 hours a week, I charge $1,000 an hour. So if I'm going to give you half an hour of my time, that's about $500 bonus. Okay, so that's your bonus for sticking around till the end of this program. Go in and apply. If you qualify, I'll give you another half an hour of my time free. But if you have a specific question that you want me to answer, just bring it to the application process, and I'll answer the question for you for free of charge, just for sticking around till the end of the program. Okay, so this amazing Toyin, go to GIC Deal Finders /apply, and I'll see you at the half an hour consultation. Okay, this half an hour consultation is for people that are really serious, that want to get into the program, they feel that they qualify, they have the passion. So if you're not interested in becoming a real estate investor or becoming a real estate business person, or it's not really your passion, please don't clog up my time for people that are really serious. Okay, so I will appreciate if you apply based on the fact that you're really serious and you want to get in and have somebody hold your hand so you could become like me, an expert that buys and sells 3 or 4 properties every month. All right, so I'll see you at the seminar, because I created this time specially for these people that can get into the appointment schedule. My schedule is pretty tight, so if you get in, make sure you show up. If you don't show up, you only get one chance. You're not going to get a chance to reschedule unless on extreme circumstances. Okay, so I'll see you at the scheduled meeting. All right, thank you guys. Bye.